Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try very hard to stick to language for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., that may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I'm your keeper, Keeper Michael, and we return to Mask of Nyarlathotep in our Kenya finale series. And so, as we like to do at the top of the show, we'd like to thank you, the listener, and especially you, the Patreon supporter. So many of you have voted for these characters over the years. I guarantee you, I cannot wait for the payoff. And now, we're going to get to introductions, which will begin to my right.
This is Tiffany, and I play Meave O'Shea, and I am slinging spells.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And to Miss O'Shea's right.
This is Morgan. I play Lillian Lane, and I am going to the top of a mountain.
Yeah, you certainly are. At the end of the table.
This is Jake. I'm playing Jack Doyle, and this very well may be the last time you hear this intro from any of us.
Yeah, truer words were never spoken. To Mr. Doyle's right.
This is Lonnie, and I play Robert Drummond, Morituri, Salutamus, something. My Latin's not good anymore.
Yeah, definitely not. To Mr. Drummond's right.
Hi, this is James, and I'll be playing Dr. Sigmund Tattenbach and Vinny Vidi Virskrud.
That's very succinct of you. And last, but most certainly not least.
This is Alex playing Saint-Laurent, who is of the opinion that the insides of monsters are their best sides.
I think that's a fair consideration. So before we raise the curtain tonight, I'm going to give a gentle reminder to our listeners and the audience here, there, and everywhere that this is a mature show and is meant for a mature audience. With that out of the way, we'll get right to it. So we're going to pick up where we left off last time, which is on the way up to the apex, and that is with Mr. Drummond, Lillian, and Jack. Before we get to the apex of the mountain, then, we'll go to our first position with Meave O'Shea and ask her player, Tiffany, to roll luck for us.
I'm already maxed out.
Oh, we'll fix that.
Oh, yeah, I plan on spending whenever I get a chance. I just haven't, I don't think.
Then Lillian, please. Let's play by Morgan.
I got 36 out of 63.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have 5 more points of luck.
Ooh.
Jake?
I maxed out as well.
It's terribly unfortunate. Lonnie?
I'm not anywhere near maxed out.
No? Is Mr. Drummond not maxed?
No, not at all. But he did succeed on this roll, 11 under 28.
Okay, well, I am going to give you 11 points of luck.
Holy Moses.
Use it wisely.
No.
Doctor?
91 under 93.
Well, you're not maxed yet, but you are now, so take your 6 more points of luck to cap you.
All right.
Sam, who is playing our reminder for the evening. For Alex.
That is an 82 over 21.
Oh, I see what it is.
That's
Someone's trying to get back to 30.
That's a fat failure for me.
These are beautiful dice that our friend Adduct Dice made, so we'll see how they do for you. It is a failure, so you do get to roll 2d10, which is nice. So that's 14 points of luck for you.
Thank you.
Certainly.
And thank you, Odd Duck Dice.
Indeed. Okay. With that out of the way, back to the apex of the mountain. That tunnel that has continued to go up it's getting less and less friendly the further you three go up. The torchlight, which was part of the main, say, first half, has all but dwindled. Those torches that they were putting on the wall they just haven't been as prevalent There's all these discarded robes that you've picked your way past now. The incline is a little bit of work for your calves, that's for sure. The voice on the air in the distance continues to howl. It almost, that chant, that resonant chant that picked up is continuing. And after a while, as your progress continues, you get near the tunnel mouth. You can see it, probably a good 10 or 15 yards before you get to it. It's built out just as a slightest curve, so you can't really tell whether or not the tunnel is continuing to wrap around or if it stops. But Jack, your eyesight's pretty sharp, and you pick up on the fact that, yeah, the opening's right there. And now you can definitely hear a chant, a collective one.
Okay, I move stealthily forward.
Okay. He continues to move forward. Are the two of you going with him?
I will go with him.
Yeah.
At least stealthily.
I'm not sure how stealthy I'll be, but I bring up the rear.
You hear on the wind,
Tonight is the time of greatness. When our Lord sends his chosen seed, tonight comes the dread child, and its terror to confirm us. Nyar Satan, Nyar Gasana. Nyar Satan, Nyar Gasana.
and this resonance picks up again. The woman's voice, undeniable, strong, proud. You can hear her urge these other voices forward. Drums begin to pick up, and an innumerable amount of voices continue her chant. It gets so loud that those at the bottom of the mountain hear it. Not clearly, but they hear that something is happening at the top.
Look at Jack. What's the plan?
I'm armored, so I'm going to try to pull most of the attention. I think you should try to find a place up so you can use your rifle. Try to focus on the priestess. She's probably be protected as well, but maybe you can power through it. Robert, where do you feel you best fit in?
Well, I don't think that we certainly don't have the numbers to overpower however many dozens of people are up here. So I think we need to take just a half a moment and look and see if we can find any obvious thing that we can do to fuck this up.
Okay, so we need to get a visual.
Yep.
All right, let's do that.
You gonna turn the corner, Jack?
Yeah.
Do we want all three of us turning the corner or just one of us?
Only one of you will physically fit unless the other two want to take up the entire doorway.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that.
You sure?
No.
Okay. Jack, you peek. It's really the best option that you have at this point. You peek. And when you do, you shudder. Mr. Drummond's estimate is a little light. It's not dozens. The space here beyond is like a flat plateau on this part of the mountain. It's clear that there's been some work on a portion of this space. It forms a flat plateau. You can see to the right, just barely, you can see where it drops off the side of the mountain. There are hundreds of cultists here, each one in a different space on this stone plateau. Naked, some just sweat covered in paint. You hope that's paint. And far, far at the end of this plateau, you can see figures moving back and forth. It's too far for you to make out who is over there. There's a space to the left here, probably 80 feet. It looks like there's some sort of stone and wood throne. There's also baskets of things there. It's hard to exactly make out. Again, it is dark. There are torches here. That is your only light. The starlight overhead has been consumed by clouds. And above, you can see a storm has brewed. The chant continues, and you sort of get the full breadth of what you're looking at. It could be 500 people.
Well, what I wouldn't give for some dynamite right now. Can I pull my field glasses out and take a look at the far platform?
Yeah, you fumble for your field glasses and yank them out and get a look down there. They do help close the distance for you visually a little bit, and you can see a elegant, beautiful, ferocious woman who seems to be walking back and forth at the other end of this plateau. But it's a serious distance. It's definitely well over 150 feet. It's rifle range, and there's no way tactically you fire the shot and not get consumed by all these people. That might be a calculation you leave for someone else, but it's still going to be very difficult to hit her. And if she's protected like you are, it might be a real tough gamble here.
And you said there's a throne off to the left?
Yeah, so when you're looking out that vantage point of this tunnel, there is a throne to the left. It's maybe halfway or so, 50, 70 or so feet to your left. It looks like a part of it looks like there's a dip in the stone there, in the part of the mountain. It looks like at some point she might have used it as a dais.
Okay.
And you said it's stone, or it's wooden stone, or?
Oh, the throne is wood and stone. It's definitely something that is historical. It's not modern by any means. It's, a couple slabs of stone that were fashioned with likely simple hammers and tools, and then adorned with some sort of wood over it to keep the sun or the water out.
I'll quickly scan the outside edges and see if I can make out maybe Roger Carlyle.
You haven't caught sight of him just yet.
Yeah, he's probably mixed. He might be mixed in there with the rest of them.
He left literally like the wind. It's how he arrived. And so maybe he's shed his clothes somewhere along the way and he's hanging out naked. He'd be real hard to pick out because people here are from every different ethnic background. It's not just, people from the Indian subcontinent or people from Africa. There's all shades are here.
I really have to admire the racial harmony here.
One crawling chaos to rule them all.
Where'd they get all these people?
And that's another thing that I'll point out that someone with Jack's psychology would definitely pick up on. Nobody here looks like they're being forced here.
I was just going to ask if there was a pen or something that had sacrifices.
You don't see them.
Does it fill the entire plateau, or is there like outside edges that?
Oh, that they are packed to the gills in here. I would say just by looking at it, and probably your judge of it, you probably couldn't go 3 to 4 feet without stepping on someone.
All right, I'll move back to the rest of the other two. This doesn't look good. Not at all. There's got to be 500 people out there. And there's no way to get to the priestess without going through them.
Do they look occupied or hypnotized?
Well, at the moment, they look like they're deep in the ritual. But I doubt very much that we're going to be able to sneak our way up there. I have an idea, but you're not going to like it.
Does it involve getting naked?
Well, no.
Oh.
I'm thinking maybe you can take a shot at the priestess. Maybe a couple of shots. Take her down, maybe, hopefully. And they're going to try to they're going to swarm over us. And if you take a shot or two, manage to take her down, and then you run for it, you two run for it, and I'll hold them off as long as I can.
You're going to hold off 500 cultists? Well, let me be the first to say that is a stupid idea. I mean, the whole... I'm on board for let's shoot the priestess, but you're not going to hold off 500 cultists. Unless we can take down the entrance to this cave right here. But we don't have any dynamite?
No, unfortunately.
I have a question based on what we've seen.
Sure.
We've seen that they've been basically shedding robes all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Are they all the same kind of robe?
Roughly speaking, yeah.
Okay. So we figured they're a harmonious group rather than a bunch of different groups.
One could make that assumption, sure.
Okay.
But yeah, you didn't see anyone out there, Jack, really with clothing on, save the priestess, and she's pretty hard to see even with field glasses. She's not impossible to see, but she's lightly clothed, I'll put it that way.
Sam did give me one of his fog drops.
Honestly, if we were to shut our clothes, we could probably make it up there further. Especially if they're engrossed in the ritual.
Yeah, but carrying weapons?
But they're not going to notice if they're in the middle of a ritual. Because I don't think... But when we were in England and they did the ritual, I don't think they attacked us until it was directed, if at all.
I don't think the ritual participants actually attacked us at all.
Right.
But they were in the midst of an orgy at the time. This is a little different. Is there anybody moving around out there?
Define moving around.
Like walking around?
Outside of the priestess?
Yeah.
I'll give you a hard spot hidden roll for it.
Okay. That is 30 under 99. So yes, that's a hard spot hidden.
So there are a couple of people near the front where she is that seem to be moving and checking the crowd. They don't move much past, say, the 10-foot line deep in. They seem to be pretty concentrated near the front. They are also armed.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. We're not going to be able to move up there without being spotted.
So I'm going to put you guys there, because it looks like what you're going to do is sort of hold position for a little bit. And I'm going to head back down to the mountain where Sigmund and Sam and Meave are working through their part of it. So, having just recently dispatched some rather nasty creatures in a fairly effective way, you are, at this point, recovering. The guide that you have assisted with, getting this thing set up for the Ndovu villagers who are sacrificing what they need to potentially seal the mountain. Kwame is continuing to lead that now and gives you the opportunity, Maeve, to step away from needing to lead, which was good because you had people to help in the last combat. And so I'll ask the three of you then, what are the three of you doing while this continues to go on?
And we can hear the chanting from where we are.
Yeah.
From the mountaintop.
So just give you an idea, when you have, 500 plus people all saying the same thing.
Sure.
And they're in a mountain and there's a little tunnel that goes all the way down that mountain. It
focuses the shit out of it.
Yeah. So yeah, you can definitely hear that there's some stuff going on up there.
Look at Sam and Maeve. Doc looks inordinately nervous about the situation. I don't like being here, Sam. Not that they don't need protection, but I mean, he looks at the mountaintop.
No, I understand. just don't know if these Byaku are the only threats that we're going to have to ward off from these people. There's still a long time before the sun comes back up. Hours even. I'll check my watch, honestly. Like, how long do I think we have?
Before the sun comes back up? It'll be a few hours.
Doc rummages through his bag and pulls out a small flask, takes a nip and offers it to Sam.
Smell it.
No idea.
Just good bourbon, probably left over from London or from England.
No, Dr. Starrett. You probably refilled when you were there.
Oh, right. That's right.
Oh, I've had this before.
So it's familiar. It's a familiar.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'm mostly just watching around us to make sure that everybody is safe.
Yeah, your sense of, well, the space, both mystically and in the mundane, is that the people from the village and Kwame have a good rhythm, and they seem to be working that rhythm very well. It looks like Kwame has figured out a way to get them to understand who can take, not breaks, but just who can maybe vocalize a little less to save their voices. It's a long cast, as far as you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they seem to be in rhythm and where they need to be.
Okay. But I want to just, I want to keep predator sight so I can see what's coming towards us, around us, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Doc goes through his stuff, pulls off the blanketed, or not the blanket, but like the tea cozy that he put over the little wicker cage, fancy little wicker cage, sets it down next to Meave. Also, clink.
Oh, right.
You see the lizard, the brown lizard that's in there, which Doc, you know affectionately as Who. It sits upright, and you see its eye blink and sort of start moving around.
Oh,
that's new.
That is new. Bow to Who a little bit. Hello, little friend.
Look, Doc, it sounds like you want to help, and I understand, and I wouldn't begrudge you that. Meave, is this going to keep? Can this keep without you here?
Potentially, but I won't know when it's ready. Plus, once it's done, I have to run it up to the top so that we can help the others.
Does it have to be you once it's done?
Well, yeah, because I was the one that carved the eye.
It's pretty clear the doctor wants to go check on the rest, and I don't necessarily disagree with them. And I feel like, given what might be going on up there, you're going to be more help than I am. So I guess what I'm asking is, if this thing can get charged on its own, with me here guarding them, you go help the doctor. If I get this thing to you up there, will that work?
What do I need to roll, occult for that?
Yeah, it's an occult roll.
Okay. So 16 out of 92.
Okay. So that's an extreme. Yep. Yeah, you don't see any problem with it, provided that when it's brought up, it's in a single piece.
Right. Yeah, as long as you keep this all intact and everything, they should know when it's charged, because the eye to them, because they donated to it, will glow.
Okay. And then they just need to get out of here, right?
Yeah. I mean, if they survive it, yes.
As many of them that do.
I'm hoping that they're all robust enough to be able to, but I don't know.
I think I can help them get a way out.
Okay.
And still make it to you. I haven't tried this before. You remember that spell that we learned? The gate?
Ooh. Yeah, but I don't think we know how to tell what's on the other side of the gate or where the gate goes.
As far as I can tell, we only have to send it to some, based on my recollection, basically we can pick a location, right? Within the distance of the range.
I guess the biggest thing I have to say is that we're going to need that as soon as possible, because once I can place that as high as I can, it starts affecting the magic and what they can do inside the mountain. So that means that it affects the caster inside the mountain.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about doing it like here, right? Like we can cast it here, and then when they're done, they just go through.
Oh, yeah, because it's permanent. Yeah.
Sigmund, the cage begins to shake and rattle, whose bifurcated arms starts shaking the cage.
Whatever you all are going to do, you should probably do it. I feel like I can handle that ritual on my own.
All right, I'll go with the doctor and his friend.
Doc picks up the cage, and as is tradition, as has happened so many times, he offers his elbow to Meave. And they began walking up the mountain path.
Meave, you got a free hand?
Yeah?
I'm going to pass her the canister of kerosene.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and much like across the field in England or in Chicago, Doc and Meave walk up the mountain. You know what, dear, after this, I'm thinking maybe breakfast. You know what I'm thinking? Perhaps like bacon? It's been a while since I've had a good American breakfast.
Okay.
He continues to shake the cage.
Why don't you just let him out?
I think that is the best. I hold the cage up. I am sorry to have been your captor for so long. Goodbye, little friend.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I let him go. I point the cage at the mountain, and I open it, and I just let him go.
Okay. You point the cage at the mountain.
He's never asked to get out before, and I bet he knows more about stuff than I do.
He leaps onto the ground. This, 2 or 3 inch tall lizard. Now, had you guys entered the main cavern space? Or did you let him out before the main cavern space?
Probably in the main cavern space, because outside, I don't know what kind of night predator owl kind of birds are out here, and I don't want our possible celestial savior to be swooped up by a hungry owl and end up in a nest somewhere.
Okay. He grows. Who grows? And as he does, Who grows very large very quickly. Who grows from being 2 to 3 inches tall to being 12 to 13 feet tall. He has those sort of bifurcated arms. And Doctor, I'm going to ask you to make a psychology roll.
I would love to. Oh, and by the way, since he is now in his full form, his name is Whom. He is no longer just Who, he is now Whom.
So the actual name of the creature is Who Is Not What She Seems.
Ah, well, now it's Whom. Whom. 46 under 86 for psychology, yes.
Okay. Who, or Whom, reaches the bifurcated arms out and grabs the two of you. Imagine a humanoid-ish body, right? It has 2 arms, but at the forearm they bifurcate, so there's basically 2 forearms.
Mm-hmm.
It picks the both of you up, and it begins to leap and burrow into the cavern. It essentially begins to traverse the cavern space quicker than you can.
Oh, cool.
And it finds its way into the tunnel space and then begins using its much larger body and arms to essentially ascend the cavern as quick as it can. And I'm going to ask you both to make dexterity rolls in hopes of not getting hit.
Oh, by
as
falling
this thing
rock?
moves up. Uh-huh.
Dexterity. Okay.
All right, I only failed it by a little. So 94 over 55.
Doctor? I am going to play a hand of fate for you, and I'm going to make that a success.
Yay!
I got a 64 out of 65.
Wow.
Yeah. I just made it.
Yeah, you just make it sort of like Indiana Jones sort of just made it back onto the truck with the whip. You get tore up a little bit, but no real damage, but you get dust and dirt all over you.
And thank you, Hand of Fate.
So back at the top of the mountain, I'd like to know what our 3 investigators there are prepared to do.
I want to take a peek, and I assume I see basically what Jack sees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see a sea of people, Robert.
Yeah. Now, the dais that's over off to the side, does it look like there's anyone around it?
No, doesn't look like there's anybody on it, actually.
I will head that way very quickly.
Okay. You're going to head that way very quickly.
Well, as quickly as I can do without attracting attention.
Okay, well, that is a different story.
That's a stealth roll, right?
Well, before that, though, before all that, we'll sort of slow this down a little bit to you stepping onto the plateau. You step onto the plateau. I'll ask, just for clarity's sake, you are staying clothed. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So you step onto the plateau, and you begin moving sharply left, having to pick your way through some people. You can't get behind all of them because some of them are up against the wall. So you're forced to go through, weave your way through towards that space, yes? Mm-hmm. Okay. You may make a stealth roll. It's a hard difficulty.
That is an 3 out of 70.
Okay. You succeed. And for your extreme, I will say that you get a fair rough idea of a number here, because you're paying attention to literally everything at this point. You think there might be 600-800 people up here. If you get caught, you're dead.
This is true.
You're fairly certain.
How tall is the dais?
How tall is it? There's no level doesn't change that much, really.
But I mean, it's the wood over the top of it to keep it from getting rained on or whatever.
Maybe 8 feet. It doesn't even look that sturdy. It's not like something you could get on top of without breaking it. So that's sort of part of the problem. But you make your way over there. This chant going the entire time. And you have to move slow because you're being stealthy. You can't really be quick.
Right.
So a little time passes, but you do eventually get to that space where there's a section that is this cordoned off area, a couple of big torches as you enter that space, and then a couple of them beyond. It will put you about halfway closer towards her. There is a change in elevation, and then also you can see that there is a crack, a fissure that runs through this portion that cuts it off from the main plateau. Not something that you couldn't jump over, but it isn't a smooth transition by any means.
I just want to find a spot where no one is around.
This would be the only spot where no one is around.
I will then remove my clothes.
Okay. So when you get to the plateau area, you notice a couple other things that I'll point out besides the throne. That's there. One of the things that's there is what appears to be some sort of bone. It's not really a barrel, but it is a sort of holding section, or a holding area that's made from bones. No bigger than like a wicker basket. But there's stuff in there. The bones don't completely hold everything in. There's stuff like oozing out of the side of it.
Does it have a smell?
Oh, yeah. Certainly. Probably smells like ozone. I mean, beyond the entire plateau smelling like sweaty human bodies.
Is it like fuel?
It's like, no, it could be. Maybe. Could be a primitive form of kerosene, maybe? Or some sort of chemical. think a naturally occurring one, or like petroleum, maybe. Definitely singes your nostrils to be here, but you've got a space, and there are actually places to stand visually that you could hide behind. I can offer you a couple of different pillars made of skulls, if you'd like, or you could try to hide behind the throne.
I'm just wondering if a fire big enough, if this stuff is flammable, a fire big enough might catch the attention of the people on the stage.
Possibly. There are a couple fires here, torches that are, 4 or 5 feet high. There's 2 as you came in, and there's 2 that sit to the left and to the right of her, of the throne that's here. So there's fire nearby too.
I'm going to look back at the entrance and see what Jack and Lillian.
You look back to the tunnel mouth, and Lillian, if you're looking out, you see that that Adonis himself has stripped to his nothings and is now cloaked in the firelight, like shining against his bronzed skin. And you're thinking, why are we up here again?
Yeah.
The shit am I doing here?
I avert my eyes a little bit from trying to. So how close is Drummond to the priestess?
Roughly, give or take, probably anywhere between 60 to 75 feet.
And how close am I to the priestess?
Twice that. Probably 150.
Yeah, I think the shot range is 150 yards. But
it is, but you would be talking about shooting through, 100 people to try to get to her.
Is he on you're up a little bit? Or
There's
no?
Yeah, it's slightly elevated.
It's slightly elevated. It doesn't seem like a ton of people paid attention to Robert moving over there, but at the same time, he was very careful in his movements.
Right. I like a Jack him. I'm gonna follow him. There's no going back now.
It's going to be dangerous. You could be noticed at any point.
This whole journey has been dangerous. We could have died at any point. Do you remember Forsyth?
Oh, yeah, I remember Foresight. It was just a few months ago.
This whole journey's been dangerous, and we haven't come this far to just turn around and leave.
If you go left and I go a little to the right, maybe if you get noticed or if once the stuff starts cooking off, I can try to distract as many of them as I can.
Is he left? Is Robert left?
Yes.
Okay. I will try to go to where Drummond is and take a shot of the priestess from there.
Okay. So I'll ask you the same question I asked Robert, which is, are you going clothed or are you attempting to camouflage yourself?
Yeah, is there anything around buckets or anything or are they covered in blood?
You're not sure what they're covered in.
But there's nothing else around where I can...
No, you see occasionally there might be a torch that, like a hand torch that's in the space there. That's how you see all of the illuminations. I mean, you can see the people because there are torches scattered throughout the space. That's about it. People here are basically in their birthday suit.
Robert, you got naked before you left?
No.
You got naked at the dais, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do the same thing then.
Okay. Then I'll ask you for a stealth roll.
Well, let me go back.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to strip down.
Okay.
But not... I'm going to keep on I have an undershirt on. And probably some tidy whities.
Sure.
And I will leave.
This is the 20s. You probably have 5 layers.
Yeah, I probably
just
do.
below the waist.
And I will leave that and my boots on because I do have
Of course.
and take my satchel because I still have weapons actually I will put the curved blade in my satchel and take off my boots because they are bright red, so they'd probably be noticed.
Sure.
So, and I will put those off to the side in the cave to come back for hopefully later.
Okay. So you just have your rifle with you, or are you taking the satchel
I'm
with
taking
you?
the satchel too.
Okay. All right. Stealth roll.
I'm gonna have to spend all my luck
That's what it's there for.
except 30. Oh my god. got a 78 out of 20. 8. So that would be,
Is your stealth 20?
yeah.
So a hard roll for you is 10.
So that would mean I would need to spend. That's all my luck.
So
Literally.
the Hand of Fate will make that a success for you.
Oh, thank God.
You weave your way, very much like Robert did, back and forth, slowly, carefully. It takes time. Minutes pass. It's a large space to work your way through. But as you do, you get closer and closer to where the elevation changes. And you can see Robert, where he's hiding, or doing his best to hide. And you stick to the shadows and arrive in your underwear and satchel and boots.
No, I have no boots on.
Oh, that's right. You took your boots
I'm
off.
barefoot.
Yep. So you're barefoot. Oh, God. You're barefoot.
For free?
It's being around and in the thick of these cultists as they chant. It is unnerving. Any one of them could reach out and touch you. Any one of them could try to make your life, that much closer to over. You feel the chant as you walk your way through them. You feel their passion, their fervor for their God. And that's the part that hammers in your heart as you make your way to the dais.
Yeah, I'm breathing fairly hard because of how nervous I am. Like, probably slight panic attack mode.
Yeah, I believe it.
I do pause for a moment on my way and just kind of try to control my fear. Because I don't want to make the wrong move. And I just close my eyes and take a deep breath and just keep on moving forward.
You keep on moving forward. Are you getting to where Robert is?
Yes, I will go to where Robert
Okay.
is.
All right. And so that sort of leaves us with Jack. What's the play here, Mr. Doyle?
Okay, well, I'm going to get all my weapons out, loaded, put them on the floor, get out the Sam's Drought, get it ready, take a couple of quick shots
Yeah,
from my flask. Yeah,
sure.
we didn't really plan out what we're going to do,
We don't do plans here.
so I'm going to get ready to drink it, the fog juice.
Okay, so are you familiar with what the fog juice does?
Yes.
Which is...
Yeah, I exhale. I mean, I know I have to roll a constitution, and I exhale a cloud of fog into the space. Do I remember how big that was?
I think it's 20 by 20. It's pretty big. It's
Yeah,
10
it's
by
fireball size.
It's fireball size, yeah. 20 by 20.
Okay.
So it just makes you invisible to mythos creatures. That's the belief, anyway.
Well, it also just cause chaos and confusion.
Could also do that as well. So you're going to down that?
Yeah.
All right, make your con roll.
Those fresh Nairobi peppers. My con is 55, and that is 45. So that's a successful con roll.
Okay. You down it. It is 100% as spicy as advertised, even more. Your eyes burn with all sorts of thoughts of getting this out as soon as you can. It eventually settles, and you can feel sort of this... I think the best way to equate it is there's a lasting burn that comes with it. It sort of sits somewhere in like the upper part of your chest and your nasal cavities and passages. There's all sorts of just hot burn in there now.
And then I guess I will exhale it.
Okay. You exhale and you create a cloud from the tunnel space. It's interesting for you. two who are here to see the other side of that. You see a billowing cloud begin to come out of the tunnel space. And every moment that passes, you feel like someone's going to notice. Someone's going to care. Someone's going to have a problem. And the chanting just keeps going. There's a sudden rumble across the sky, and a bolt of lightning slams into the mountain. It deafens you momentarily, all of you that are up there. The chanting gets a little louder. Jack, what are you doing after the exhale?
I'm going to pick up my guns, specifically Tommy gun and all that, and I'm going to move out and to the right.
Okay. You move out and to the right. I will ask you for a stealth roll and a question about whether your clothing is on or off, optional, etc.
Well, it's on.
I understand.
That is 23 under 82.
Okay. You move to the right. The space to the right and the space to the left, up until the elevation change, are roughly about the same distance. There's a little bit more space that could be used on the right-hand side now that you get out and you see how far back it actually goes. There's a considerable amount of space to move between people. It doesn't get you any closer to the front, but it certainly gets you in a better position overall. You're only really about 20 or 30 more feet closer to the front where this chant is being led, but it's progress. It's a little hard to see where Lillian and Robert are at this distance, especially because you're trying to look through all these people who are beginning to not just chant, but cavort with one another and try to draw on that mystical fervor to their dark god. On the way up, Meave and Sigmund have probably a lot of different thoughts. You've never been carried by a mythos creature in this way. Some of you have ridden them, but that's a different story. This feels like, Sigmund feels like being at a football game. And instead of being a player, you're the football. And that's a little strange. But you don't think you don't think they have any sort of malice towards you. The sense that you get is that they're eager. You think they might be hungry.
Doc attempts to just enjoy the ride, knowing that things are probably going to get so much worse in a moment, and at least he can enjoy it with somebody that he enjoys spending most of the most fantastic things he's seen in the world with. And he's about to hopefully not see the rest of his friends all splattered across the mountain. So, but for the moment, yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you had anything to eat or drink recently, you're probably wishing you hadn't. It's just kind of the way it goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna just try and settle in and be like, you know what? Weirder things have happened, I think.
I mean, not much, but certainly strange things have happened. That's undoubtedly true. It's moving at a really, really fast pace. And you feel like it feels like it's getting closer and closer to something. The thunder at the mountain multiplies. The lightning continues to hit. And as these cultists chant and cavort at the front end of this plateau, the three of you who are up there begin to see something change. You see, in the flash of lightning, you see something metallic appear at the front. And one of these cultists chops into a nearby cult member. And then it happens again
Like it's slicing them down?
and again. And you see it happening in 2 or 3 different points in the front where a cultist is cutting into another one.
Are they still ignoring us?
They are. You hear a voice carry to the air. And it's unequivocally, it is a woman's voice. And you hear something radiate through all of these people. And she casts her hands to the sky, and the cosmos above the mountain rips. And you watch the blood that's fallen on the plateau elevate into the sky.
Look at Drummond, and I feel like it's go time. I give myself some cover behind the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Can I still get the priestess? Can I still see the priestess from there? If I'm behind the throne and kind of peeking, like...
And any shot from the throne space that you take at the priestess,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to get a shot, but it's going to be at an increased difficulty, right? So that's just something to keep in mind.
Right.
She is a moving target, and there are people moving in front of her at irregular intervals.
Lillian, I'll cover you.
If I want to get closer,
Mhm.
I'm on the right-hand side. We're at the throne. Jack is on the left-hand side, and the priestess and friends are up here. Like, the priestess is over
Jack's
here.
on the right-hand side.
Okay, let's switch that. I'm on the left-hand side.
Yes.
On the dais. Jack's on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Priestess is 70 yards this way or towards the front.
Right.
Is there any room for me to get closer?
Nope.
Okay. Then I'm gonna take aim and shoot from the
Okay.
throne.
Okay. Give us a roll.
Alright. Don't fail me now. I got a 56 out of 71. Do I need to make that a hard success?
No, hard success is not going to do it.
I need an extreme.
100%. Multiple moving bodies and cover. Yeah.
So I need to do...
It's already a pretty long shot as it is. It's still within the range of that rifle. That's not
Right.
an issue.
71, you'd need to take it down to 14.
42.
It's a lot of luck.
So that would leave me with... Still under... That'd leave me under 30, but... Am I able to push the roll?
If you want to push a combat roll, I'll let you. I want you to understand that
Oh, I can't spend luck on it, though, and it's still...
that's correct.
Yep.
And don't put the cart before the horse there.
I know. I don't know. Let's do it. Let's spend the 42 luck.
Okay. You spend the 42 luck. You make an extreme success. You can roll damage.
Sweet. 2d6 plus 4.
Yep.
I get 2 1s.
Oof.
I know. Plus 4, so I get 6.
Okay. You fire. Jack, you hear a shot ring out. Obviously, Robert, you hear it because you're right next to her. And you fire. And when you fire, your bullet goes on a fateful journey, which takes it past a couple of people, but not hitting them. And when you hit her essentially center mass here, you watch her react, being pushed off of, the rhythm that she was in, whatever it is that she was doing. You do not see her fall, though. Robert, you'd probably be able to tell that she didn't react very hard to being shot. There is a scream that goes up from the front, sort of the northern portion of this plateau space. And words are uttered in a tongue you do not rightly understand. And she kneels, and you lose sight of her.
When that shot goes off and she kneels, I'm going to jump up, hold my gun in a firing position, my Tommy gun in a firing position, and I'm going to start sprinting towards the dais.
Okay. That's going to be quite a long bit of movement for you, Jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to try and muddy the situation up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try and spark some confusion among the people around. So I'm going to run out from the dais. I'm going to leave my gun there. I'm going to run out from the dais, and I'm going to scream over there and point and see if anybody pays any attention to me at all.
Okay. Where are you pointing to?
Away from the dais, more toward the center of the mass, and kind of like at an area toward the stage rather than away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I want everybody looking that way instead of at Lillian,
Okay.
if I can get it.
I mean, you can make a persuade roll, but it's going to be really freaking hard.
I know. I rolled a 33 under 60.
Okay.
I will spend 3 luck to make it a hard success.
Okay. Your words definitely they don't snap people out of it per se. They're reacting still to all the things that are going on, but it doesn't look like as many eyes are shifted towards where Lillian is. So you may have bought a little bit with your gambit there.
That's all I wanted.
Doctor, you and Meave come upon a couple things in your travel. Recently, you came upon a whole lot of robes. They went by like a blur. You're not really sure what they were there for. And you see who seems to be coming up on an entrance. There's a bunch of smoke in the air.
As we travel, Doc's be ready, Meave.
Do I see through it with my predator sight?
Yeah, you can see through your parasite. You also see there's a bunch of heat up there.
Okay.
Like there's a whole bunch of warmth coming from wherever who is heading to. And you're about to arrive at it.
I'm going to look at the doctor like, yeah, there's a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I am not surprised.
Or fresh corpses. It's hard to tell at this point.
You break the tunnel mouth moments later. And as you break the tunnel mouth, who drops you like a sack of potatoes. And it dives out into the crowd. And this monstrous lizard opens its maw and just bites down on the first cultist it finds, and it snaps them in half. And you see its arms like shooting out, those bifurcated arms, the claws that it was so careful to not touch you with, Doctor. It starts sinking them into people. And you watch what looks like a 13-foot tall Wolverine begin to go to work.
Good girl.
But that does not come without something else arriving. For the two of you who just arrived, I will just recap the scene. Many, many people, and then more people on top of that. And it does look like some magical foolishness is going on up here, Meave, just for your mystical senses are picking up that there's a whole lot.
Just remind me, because I kind of have a plan. We'll see.
As this frenzy and what looks like bloodletting going on up front, an enormous bolt now hits the plateau. Lillian, you are temporarily, because you're looking probably for a follow-up shot, you're a little bit flash blinded by this. Most people here are. Just by the shock value there of it. No pun intended. A cloud of smoke appears after the bolt disappears. You see a cloud of smoke there at the front end of the plateau. And something begins to rise out of the front of the plateau. Something enormous.
Now, when you say enormous, do you mean like RV sized or like?
It's enormous. the thing that is coming out of the plateau is enormous. It's a giant humanoid shape. You see 3 enormous legs, 3 powerful clawed arms, and a distinctive and horrifying blood red tentacle in place of a face begin to grow out of its neck.
Oh, fuck.
It is impossible to not see. And so, as this grotesque shape takes over center stage, you hear this woman's voice pierce your skull, and you hear her words as they are impossible to get away from. She says,
He bestrides the mountain as he bestrides the world.
and you hear the chant kick up again.
So can I see her?
Not at this point.
Okay.
You can hear her voice, but you can't hear her. You can't see her.
Then I'm going to start casting for the servitor.
Hang on one second. You're gonna do something for me before you do that,
Okay.
and that is you and everybody else is gonna make a sand roll, minus Sam, of course, because he's not here just yet.
Best sand roll ever.
Okay, I got a 27. That sucks. Yeah. No,
Okay,
that blows ass.
Miss Lane.
I had a 46 out of 50.
Okay. Jack.
48 out of 50.
Robert.
84 out of 79.
Okay. Doctor.
I got you beat. 97 out of 51.
All right. I'm going to deal with those of you who passed. So that'll be you, Lillian. So you are going to lose 8 points of sanity.
Oh my gosh.
Now, again, important to remember that as a pulp character, you could spend twice the sand that you are going to lose in luck and then take half the sand loss. So if you decided to spend 16 points of luck, you could make that 8 of 4.
No.
Okay. So we'll understand that you have failed and that you will need a follow-up roll for int. We'll get to that in a second. For Jack, you're going to lose 10 points of sanity.
I'm going to spend the
You're going to spend 20
luck for
luck.
that. Yep.
Yes. And so you'll only lose 5. You will also need an int roll at some point, which we'll get to. Though you two are the only two that passed. Everyone else failed. For those of you who failed, I will be rolling a D100.
What the
my.
fuck?
It's an Avatar Nyarlathotep.
Is it a D100?
Yes, sir. D100.
Wow.
Okay, so Miss O'Shea, you are going to lose 38 points of sanity.
Is that with the half?
So you're hardened against the mythos,
Uh-huh.
right? So it would get half. So 38 would be 19. Okay, so 19 points of sanity.
Okay. So I will spend 38 and take, was that 9? Well,
Yeah.
9.5. But it round
Yeah.
up, what, 10?
10. So 10 points of sanity for you at 26
Yeah.
is
Oh, it's bad.
permanent, to basically indefinite insanity,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can only lose 9 for, whatever that
You can-
percentage is.
It's 20% in a day.
Yeah.
So you can only lose
5.
5 at most.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a hand of protection, and I'm going to prevent you from losing any more than 4. So you lose 4.
Am I still spending my luck then?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. And I'll lose 4. Okay.
Yep.
Well, thanks for that. Whoever did that for me, because I
don't
need it.
thank me. So Robert, you are next on our list. How much luck you got?
Not nearly enough.
How much sand you got?
I got a bunch.
Good.
Oh,
Oh, I rolled really low. 23.
Okay, so...
So 23 incoming. If you want to spend 46 luck.
I don't have 46.
Okay, but your heart, you have the ability to you're resilient, right?
Yeah.
So you half it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that would be 13.
Yep. And then I can spend luck to oppose sanity at a 1-to-1 ratio.
Correct.
So I will spend 13 luck, and I will take no damage
No
because
sanity
I
damage, though.
am not really perceiving this. I'm
No.
not saying I didn't see it.
No, you're totally seeing it. Just somehow your brain is dealing with it.
Yep.
And we don't know how at this point. And that's okay. All right, so, Doctor, we must get to you. All right, so, Doctor, normally you would lose 88 points of sanity.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
But-
that's not a sanity loss. That's literally leaking the doctor's brain out of his eye sockets.
That's very true. I will play a hand of protection for you and prevent that from happening. That said, it is going to require, provided you have 20 points of luck.
I do.
Okay.
So I have to spend 20 for that?
You 100% do, because it must come at some cost to you.
I will spend 20 points of luck, and I will thank the surgeon for taking the brunt of that.
I just like to point out that I cannot cast now because I can't lose any sand. Otherwise, I'm permanently insane.
I mean, I think we all have choices in life. So now for the people who could have bouts, that would be Lillian and Jack. So Lillian, go ahead and make me an intelligence roll.
Man.
What you got there?
I got a 3 out of 75.
Oh, shit. Okay. Fantastic. I will deal with your bout in a second. Jack.
Holy shit, I actually failed that. 92 over 90.
Did
Wow.
you? Okay, so we have 2 bouts. Very good.
No, I failed.
You
You failed? Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, the Hand of Fate's going to step in and it's going to force you to fail to succeed on that roll.
Fuck you, Hand of Fate.
Thank you, Patreon.
Thanks, Patreon.
All right. So now we can have a couple of pulp bouts. And I'll give those pulp bouts out and then we can have some more fun. Hey, Sam, I need your help.
What I do?
Roll me a d10.
Sure. 3.
Okay. So for 10 rounds, Lillian, you are going to fly into a red mist rage. It descends on you and the hero explodes into a spree of uncontrollable violence and destruction directed at their surroundings, allies and foes alike.
Hey,
Roll me another d10.
I've done that.
You have. You nearly killed Jack. All right, Jack. For 1d10 rounds, here, I'll roll this d10. Oh, for 2 rounds, you are going to pursue an irrational or ill-conceived plan. Not you weren't doing that already.
Oh, excellent.
The plan must either benefit the enemy's situation or increase the danger for the hero or his allies.
Okay, I know exactly what I'm doing.
And so that is our scene that we have painted for you, dear listener, this evening. We are going to close down our finale portion there tonight as the avatar of the Bloody Tongue has arrived in our Kenya finale. Thank you and good night.